right now.
That's great.
Oh, I don't look like as much of a scrub as I did last time.
Let's see if it's
Goes
going. I don't know. Nerdist. All right, we're live. Cool. I'm gonna minimize this window because it weirds me out that it's always delayed. And I can just keep that with the chat up there.
Hello.
Hey, everybody.
What's up?
Welcome to the DM newsletter for January.
Yeah.
2018. Oh, this description is wrong. I should say 18. I'll fix that later too. So, welcome back. It's been busy January, which is why we're kind of doing this later than normal, but it's cool. I'm trying to think. There's some news things going on, but we'll get to that in a little bit. We got questions sent in for the first time, so that was cool. Yeah, right?
Whoa.
All right.
I'm
So
glad I didn't hear them ahead of time.
Yeah, I didn't want to give you time to think
Yeah,
about
no,
it.
that's good.
Yeah.
I like that.
So we're gonna start off with those, and then we'll go into the stuff we normally do, and then I don't know after that. We'll figure it out.
If you're new, I'm Owen. That's Steve.
Oh yes, yeah. He's the DM. I play a gnome. We have
Named Brimley,
Yeah.
Coral, Baloran, Alord. Thank you very much.
I can never remember. I always flip his two middle names,
That's okay.
which
I
is
do the same
funny.
thing with Dumbledore.
But you don't play Dumbledore, so it's like.
Or do I?
Or does he? You haven't seen the new movie yet. You don't know.
Secretly Jude Law.
Yeah. Cool. So
Super excited about that, by the way. Just throw it out there. Moving on.
I was
Oh.
happy with that choice.
Can't wait.
So we got some questions emailed to us from Trevor. So thank you, Trevor.
Trevor the Mountain Spirit,
Trevor the Mountain Spirit. Yeah.
which aids Korath in the form of
Yeah.
both stallions and
He
seahorses.
sent us an email.
Wow.
Yeah, he figured it out real quick.
He's the only one with internet access. Okay.
All right. So Owen, as a DM, I find myself accidentally giving my players too much insight regarding what's going on around them or where they should go next. How do you keep your cool and keep them on their toes?
Because I have no idea. No, that's not the real answer. I don't know. I mean, we've talked about this, right? I mean, I think I forced you guys forward. There weren't that many options.
Yeah, I think there's been like two separate things for you. Like in the first season and like the beginning of the season, it was very much like, here's the path you guys are on. You know, this is the thing that happens over there. Go deal with it.
Yeah.
Um,
And then I've been trying to loosen up. I think I've done a good job of loosening up. But, because, I mean, ultimately, you know, if you guys are at point A and I want you to be at point B,
yeah.
right, the line between those 2 points is totally up to you. Also, you don't know where point B is.
That's
The
true.
listeners don't know where point B is. I can have in my head that point B is, I could have a map and all these enemies and stuff, and in my head it was this castle, and for whatever reason you guys start going into a cave.
Yeah.
Guess point B is a cave now, it doesn't.
I'm thinking of it from more of like a story perspective. So like for instance, if there's say like you have a bad guy or like somebody that we're friends with or something like that, and then you know that he's got ulterior motives, and how do you play it so that we don't realize that, but like it's still cohesive, like his actions make sense with his ulterior motives, but you're not like giving it away, Because that's something I always struggle with. 'Cause I always want to
okay.
giving it away.
Here's my thought, is that you can't be married to your own concept. And so, like, I don't know, if I was playing somebody who's trying to hide something from you,
Right.
and then I accidentally let it out, then he wasn't as sneaky as I thought, and like that's his character now, and I would probably play on that and be
Gotcha.
like, let out extra stuff, and maybe throw in a few red herrings so that you wouldn't, because now he's not the sneaky guy, he's the snitch, I don't know. I think you gotta
You just gotta like twist it to make it to create like a new
Can you say
narrative.
what you said again? I thought of something and I lost
The
it.
question?
No.
Oh, like what I said before that. I don't even remember. Something about
If only it was recorded.
insight. Yeah, I know. We could
I'm
pause
just
this
kidding.
and
I'm just kidding.
rewatch everything. I don't know. If it comes back, it comes back. But that's something I definitely struggled with. Like when we were DMing the 3.5 game, if I had so if you guys like walk into a room or something and there's like a hidden switch, it's like how long do I let you guys like walk around without seeing the hidden switch, or like, or like a puzzle or something like that where we have to figure it out.
I like letting you struggle. I don't know that it...
You do, like, I remember one time we played, like, there was, like, an acid floor or, like, a room filling up with gas, and, like, we were all dying, and you were just like, no, like, keep going.
I mean, I think of the lantern, so way back in the beginning,
right.
there were these lanterns that, and I don't know, I don't want to force feed you with stuff like that. If any one of you had said, can I roll a wisdom check, just my gut instinct on the situation, you could have rolled a 2, and I would have been like, you get a funny feeling about these lanterns. See, but no, like...
That's something that I would have given away, like, real quick. I would have been like, hey, guys, why don't you try this? Which is just, like, my, like, shortcoming. I don't know, shortcoming, but, like...
I wanted to feel like you earned it.
Yeah.
It's one of those, I don't know, it must have been some movie where, like, some dumb action movie where they're just, like, trying to get through. They know there's a secret door because they're at a dead end.
Right.
And they're just pulling every book off the shelf. And then the room blows up. And there's one book left on the shelf. And there's just, like...
Mm-hmm.
And the door opens up. Like, I'm cool with that. Like... And then it's just like... Dang, that's okay.
It happens. It just made me think of... There's one story that I've seen online where... I think it was, like, the start of the adventure or something like that. And they all, like, the entire party wakes up in this room, and there's no windows and no doors, and, like, they're trying to find a way out, and they can't find a way out. And they're, like, looking in all the corners and looking for secret, like, switches in the wall or something, and, like, one by one, they start dying off of, like, starvation because they can't figure it out. And then, like, at the very end, like, the last guy's dying, like, he's taking his last breath, and he's like, all right, I look up at, like, the ceiling to, like, take my last breath. And DM's like, well, you look up, and there's a sky over you. And it turns out there was no ceiling in this room, and like for like weeks, I think they were trying to figure out how to get out of this place.
See,
I think that's a little extreme.
That's irresponsible DM, in my opinion. I think that's
there's like somewhere in between
side, there. Like
yeah.
I mean, and I tend to go inward on stuff where like I don't know if I describe something, and then when you guys figure it out, if one of you goes, oh wait, there was I go, oh. That's my fault.
Yeah.
You guys knew those lanterns were there.
True.
It
was just figuring out how to.
And you gotta like. It's one of those things that sometimes the player can be smarter than their character, and like if you've played D&D enough,
right?
And there's a regular looking basement and some red lanterns. Gotta wonder why'd the DM pick red lanterns.
True.
But, again, we hadn't played in a while. And then we just come back to D&D.
Yeah. Cool. I think that was a good riffage.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Thanks, Trevor.
Thanks.
I don't know if I answered your question. If I didn't...
If we didn't, email us again. We'll
try
again.
Try again.
Take 2. Do you want to read out the question for me, or do you want me to just read it?
Sure. Oh, there's a question for you.
Yeah.
Wow. Curry and Jeremy are in here, so...
Yeah.
It's a good thing he didn't ask them.
Right.
Steven! That was a boring question.
I think it's a really exciting question. I'm really psyched about this right now.
What type of equipment and software do you use in recording and editing the podcast? I myself have a Tascam 60D, and have done some test sessions, but nothing too high quality. Just share that personal business of yours to the internet.
Cool.
What you have. Sounds good. Sounds fancy to me, though. Your Tascam 60D is better than my nothing 00D.
It's true.
That wasn't funny. Sorry.
So the first time we ever recorded a session was just to see what would happen, and I have a microphone called the Advanced Audio CM87, and it's like an omnidirectional microphone, so it picks up everything around it. We just kind of stuck it in the middle of the table. And I still listen to that every once in a while, like pull that up, and it didn't sound bad. What we do now...
I've never heard it.
Yeah, you did. I sent you like that whole thing.
Oh.
Yeah. I remember you listening to it. We'll talk about it afterwards. So the current setup of what we got going on. Owen talks into a Shure SM7B, which is why he sounds super nice. Me, Craig, and Jeremy talk into Shure. Oh my god.
Me, Craig, and Jeremy.
Me, Craig, and Jeremy. Craig, Jeremy, and I.
Dude.
I'm not worried about it right now. We talk into a Shure, and I can't remember the name of it right now. And it's going to kill me. I'm going to come back to that one. Alex is talking into an Audio Technica Pro 70, which is a lapel mic, and I think we're going to work on upgrading everybody.
Whoa!
Cool.
Hi, Trevor.
We just answered the first half of your question, so we're on the second half. So quick recap. Owen talks into a Shure SM7B. Me, Craig, Jeremy, and I talk into the Shure microphone that's like a standard microphone for mic and guitar cabs. I can't remember the name of it right now, which is really bad. And then Alex talks into an Audio Technica Pro 70, which is a lapel microphone, which was what we're working on upgrading everybody to, because it's just easier to not have to like stay right in front of the microphone. Going from that, we're going into an interface, which is the PreSonus Fire Studio project, and then we're recording into Studio One, so PreSonus Studio One. As far as editing goes, Owen takes half of it and does like the rough edits in Studio One. Craig takes half of it and does the rough edits in Cubase, and then I take those rough edits into Pro Tools, where I do like really fine edits, cutting out breaths that are too long and etc. And then I'm just doing like some filtering to like remove air conditioning noises, bring everybody's voices to like the same level-ish, and that's the dealio. If you ever want more details about the chain and stuff, like the exact plugins, I can pull a session up and tell you one day, but I don't know them offhand.
Don't ask.
I will talk about it for too long. Besides that, I think that's the whole chain right now. Yeah, cool. So before we get into like the rest of the episode stuff, I just want to say we got this thing this week, and this came with it, and this was like the coolest thing. One of our buds, who if you ever want to like say hi to him, you can see him on Twitter at Macklemore Avenue.
Macklemore?
Macklemore. Not like Macklemore, but if you go on our Twitter, you'll see us talking. It's cool. But it's like this little wood cut thing, and he like engraved our logo on it, and that was super cool. So we just want to say thanks again, because that's awesome.
I could never do this in a million years.
And I was kind of like blown away and also really excited.
I could never make this.
But that's awesome, and so thank you for sending that
I
in.
should use it to cover up this demon.
Yeah.
So it doesn't hurt us.
And then the only other.
By the way, Trevor, hi again.
Hi. The only other piece of like big news at the moment is we finally opened up a store. So we have a whole bunch of things that have our logo on it now. There's buttons.
A gift shop.
A gift shop of kinds, yeah.
Because Macklemore? What?
But there's like buttons, there's a tote bag, so if you live in New York and you can't use plastic bags anymore.
I think it's just Long Island.
And it's just Suffolk. But if you live somewhere where you can't use plastic bags, or you just don't want to because you're environmentally conscious, you can get a handy dandy tote bag with our logo on it now.
That's neat.
There's shirts, sweatshirts.
Also neat.
I think that's... Oh, and mugs. Did I say mugs already? I might have said mugs.
We have mugs?
We have mugs. Yeah. So that's all up there now. If you go to thisisgonnahurtdnd.com/store, you'll see them there.
If you go get one, you'll have one before we have one.
That's true.
Which is super exclusive. I don't have one.
Cool. But yeah, so that's the big piece of news right now. So there's that. So let's go into the last session that just finished airing, which was the last little bit of the water plane. I had to like double check because I was getting really like into talking about what happened after that, and I had to like go back on our
like
copy.
done.
Yeah, so we got back, and the session that just came out is actually us in Stromels now, I guess, or on our way to Stromels, like we're still on the island or something.
I consider if I was ever gonna make a guide of Stromels, I would put the water temple as like a
feature.
notable location.
Cool.
Yeah.
So now that whole session is out, I had a couple of questions about what we just heard, or they just heard.
Mhm.
For the record, I think we played this in like October or November,
Yeah,
so this
something
is
like
like a little hazy. So there were a couple things. First, did you mix up oysters and clams?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I've been like waiting months to ask that.
And only you people can know that I played it off pretty well.
You did. You were just like, no, there's just like one oyster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
All right, cool. Which is your
Why
like
can't it be either one?
the
I mean, I don't
science
know.
guy.
Yeah. Whatever.
Did I remember to? Oh, I did. Okay, cool. Besides that, how happy were you that you found a way to destroy Craig's boots?
I mean, not as happy as if it had been Korath's.
True. I feel like
Because when you have a giant who can swim through land and fly,
that's game over.
what else is there? I mean, he's the master of land and air. And he could walk under the seas, like through, so...
Yeah, so you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, I'm going to do something about that. Tweet me or email me
If you have ideas
Suggestions.
for ruining those boots.
of how I can ruin them. If I get... put it this way. I got it. If I get 20 suggestions...
20.
20, that's a lot. That's what I'm saying.
That's a lot.
Because I don't want to destroy them just
on a
spite.
Yeah.
Like, because I gave him to him. It's my fault. It's not his fault. But if I get 20 suggestions on how to destroy Korath's boots, I will roll for it. And I will do it. Whatever it is. Go nuts.
Do you want a spoon?
We're going to eat cookie dough?
I'm eating cookie dough.
Cool.
I just ate dinner, so I'm in like dessert mode right now. I'm just getting a spoon out of cookie dough. So besides that,
I shouldn't. I was eating an apple.
you were being healthy and then I ruined it.
Yeah, you did.
Trying to think of what else was happening there. There was a pretty decent chance that we were all gonna die, I think, before we figured out how to like actually beat that guy.
Nah.
Because I think for a while Jeremy was the only one attacking the things in the corners.
Yeah, actually, and to reference your earlier question, Trevor, which you can go back and
Oh, yeah, that's just like a good thing for that.
I knew that he wasn't taking a lot of damage. The fire sentinel, whose name is.
Was he taking any damage?
Whose name is Radiance, by the way. Maybe Radiant. Radiance, one of those two.
What was the other guy's name?
Mineral. It has never come up.
Cool.
That's why you're learning
First
it here
time.
first. I forgot what I was saying. I knew that Jeremy wasn't hurting him. It was Jeremy who was attacking him most, I think.
Jeremy
a little bit. You a little bit
switched
too.
I was attacking it, and Craig was attacking it, and then Jeremy was like, "Oh, let me start like shooting the things in the corner."
Yeah, and after a certain point, I was like, man, should I... should there be some kind of passive insight check to kind of just like put together that you're not really... But I kind of said it a few times. Like, I kind of was like...
Listening back, I did hear like little clues.
Yeah, where I like 3 times, I think, I was like... your weapon strikes it, but feels like it hasn't hurt him at all. I don't know exactly what it was, but
I think each time though there were like other circumstances going on, so I think we weren't sure if it was because of like, he had like a shield up or just the way we hit him or something like that. So I think we were like trying to get like a really good hit on him. I think when I hit him in the leg with like a pretty decent amount of acid, and it apparently did nothing. But it took me like 3 turns to find out that it did nothing because he was still in Craig's like blackness.
Mm-hmm.
So that was like Yeah.
Sure.
So there's that. I ate cookie dough at a bad time.
It's amazing, by the way.
It was so good, right? Bear with me for a moment.
Wow. So, more things.
I'm just gonna take another bite now.
I couldn't say this last time, but I can say it now. You know how your ship crashed?
Mm-hmm.
That was always going to happen.
Even if we had one of the good ones.
If you had one of the good ones, it wouldn't have. That was going to be the that was the trade-off. If you had gone to the Citadel of 10,000 Pearls,
Mm-hmm.
you would have definitely earned enough money. You could have gotten a better sub. It wouldn't have crashed, which meant that once you were done, if you wanted to, you could have gone and done something else.
Mm.
But because it crashed,
That was it. That was just
that
go
was
back home.
your time had to be over.
Oh man.
That was kind of my consequence for the route that you chose.
I think it would
It would have been harder, for the record. The Council in the Red Path would have been harder.
Oh yeah.
The monsters were stronger. The puzzles were more puzzling.
Okay.
There was going to be a big Larry the Lobster.
I think it would have been cool to go back up to the city, but I feel like if we had gone through the Citadel, the city encounters wouldn't have happened. We wouldn't have had like the same like connection, I guess. So it wouldn't have mattered as much. Not mattered, but it wouldn't have like hit us as hard, you know.
Well, I was going to have one of the denizens come with you. Kind of the way Stumero went back with you.
Okay.
Not necessarily to date one of you, but just like, you know.
Just to, like hang out, be part of the crew, be part of the guild. Hint, hint.
We should not be eating.
No, I'm gonna put this away. There's a
It's
bed out
good,
here. By the way, it might be behind me because I'm gonna eat more of that later.
Same.
So I left my spell book, which I'm still mad about. 4
Yeah.
months later. 3 months later.
Something cool is happening. Steve knows because it already happened to him.
Mm-hmm.
Something cool happens in regards to that.
Mm-hmm.
Hashtag Lilithus is the best.
Also, the king of unanswered questions, which you guys will find out later. Also, it's not really his unanswered question. There's like other stuff going on in his store, which is just always a weird place.
You need to ask about.
They haven't gotten there yet.
Oh. Good, you caught yourself.
I did. Well, I'm trying to think of other things, and if you have, you're charging an arm and a leg for the spell book. Oh yeah, it did come up on Twitter about like because somebody mentioned the cost of spell books because we had I think at the end of that session, beginning of the first session, we mentioned. So I'm replying because Trevor mentioned hats off to arm and a leg for charging an arm and a leg for the spell book, which wound up happening. But just so you guys know, because we kind of went back and forth on it for a little bit, if you are just copying spells to a new spell book, that's only 10 gold piece per spell, and then like, you know, the time. If you're writing down, if you say, leave your spell book in another plane of existence, and you need to write like a whole new spell book, the spells you have already prepared, like whatever you had studied for that day, those are only 10 gold pieces, and then anything else is starting from scratch, basically. Which, you'll see what happens with that. But, just for your own records or knowledge, now you know that it's on a page in the book, and you read it like, well, I read it a bunch of times and kept doing it wrong. So, we got there, eventually. But while we're thinking of other questions, we do have, starting in February, so what, like 6 days away, we are officially adding a new level to Patreon, where every month, barring extraordinary circumstances or lack of time, no, extraordinary circumstances, like if our house burns down, we'll make time. We're going to be releasing a chapter.
You can make time? Wow.
I know, I'm like, time.
I can make space.
Dude, we should team up.
Make a continuum.
Mm-hmm. Cool. don't think we need to do a podcast anymore if we can do that. Like,
That's true.
that's it. Cool. So, but starting next month, we'll be doing a chapter every month of like a player's guide to Florup.
Float up.
Um,
Which, for the record, only sounds stupid because there's already such thing as Europe. Like, the first guy that said, let's call this Europe. They were all like, you idiot, that's a stupid, you know, like, it's no stupider than, like, what does America mean?
I'm gonna look it up. I mean, there's like
Anybody?
roots.
Maybe.
I don't know. We'll figure that out too.
It's a stupid word, but we made
I
it
mean,
cool.
all words like
That's what I'm saying.
yeah.
Florup, we're just gonna own it. No
Right.
more Florupi, Florupe, just
It's Florup.
Florup. We're gonna own it.
Cool. So it's gonna be a player's guide to Florup. It's gonna be focusing really on 2 countries at the moment, and I'm sure we'll expand as time goes on. The first country you guys are very familiar with. It's Etrune.
What?
Well, how did you not see that coming?
Oh my goodness.
So that's gonna be cool, and that'll be focusing on different cities and locations and places. I just used 3 words for the same thing. And then the other country is going to be the country of Maelorn, which we've mentioned before, which is the setting of our B Team podcast,
Number 2.
Dose, which will probably be coming out soonish.
Soonish.
Yeah. And that's going to be focused on more like region type stuff, just because of the way that game is going. But as time goes on, we could always delve farther into like specific cities and stuff like that. And then once we get through all those locations, or depending on how the campaigns go, we'll branch out and cover the rest of Florup and explain what's going on there. So that should be cool. I'm actually really excited for that. I already finished one chapter. We've got a second and third pretty well progressing, and it's kind of crazy.
I gotta step it up.
Yeah. Gotta get to my level, man. You got things going on.
Level 1.
You can't do that.
Did about 1.
I don't know. What else do you have going on? What? I know, right?
I'm busy. I've been really busy this week, but so I haven't thought about anything.
Cool.
But work, basically, all week. Go to bed at 8:30. So.
Oh, you know what did happen, which is probably my favorite moment of season 2 so far, even like the stuff that we've done since then.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. The last session had a pretty amazing moment in it, but coming out of the water plane and there being the guy in the temple,
Yeah.
who was just really stupid.
It was an improv. It was a last minute decision there.
But that was probably one of my favorite things, because Brimley doesn't really often get to convince people to do things. But like a couple of times in the last couple of sessions, there's been like moments where, for whatever reason, probably because I played him less roleplay than I should have, but he just had like cool moments, and I'm pretty proud of those. And one of those is tricking a guard into thinking he's not a guard. So that was cool.
It's true.
One
of my favorite moments,
despite
the hashtag kill Lorthmar.
Yeah.
One of my favorite moments was when he fought those guys.
What guys?
In the salty Splatoon.
Oh yeah, Salty Splatoon. That was really cool. Because when you think about it, like the rest of us got there, and he had been literally just fighting and eating all night.
Yeah.
So he was probably like a bit of like not like a bloody mess, but like, sweaty, disheveled,
black and blue.
probably shirt off by that point.
Yeah.
Very like.
Which is kind of un-Lorthamar-ish. Like he's a fighter, but like
He's always been.
I feel like he doesn't like to let on that he's tough.
Yeah. But I feel like that was kind of like, not like a bragging thing, but I feel like that was like a challenge for him, just to see like, hey.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, can I do this? And yeah, he could do that. So that was cool. Also, every once in a while, like, I forget about this, but we're like level I think we were level 8 or 9 at that point.
Mhm.
But like, compared to like the average person walking around, we're like
Oh yeah.
incredibly powerful.
Oh yeah.
Which you don't think about because like we're fighting people that are like, you know, give us a run for our money and
Who
stuff like that.
scale with you.
Right.
Conveniently.
But, like, right. Like just happen to do that. Well, we run into like little parties of goblins and kobolds, but they're
Actually,
so inconsequential.
you haven't run into goblins in a while.
That's true.
And I make a vow that it will happen soon.
Goblins once a season.
Soon is subjective, but it will happen soon.
Cool.
Because I like. Have I talked about this before? I can't remember if I have.
Who cares?
I love this. Like, one of the first times I ever thought to DM, it was because I had this idea of splitting the party intentionally, where you like I created this trap room where you had to each go down your own alleyway in order to proceed, because there were like levers that had to be pulled, in unison. And because I just this idea of like, you're all gonna fight these kobolds, and like, how would you each fight them? And then that got me thinking, like, the way a character by themselves or in a party, like the way a group of character runs down a hallway killing kobolds is drastically different if they're level 1 or 10 or 20. Where like 1 it's like head by the rocks, like oh my gosh. And then like 20, you're like Thor, just like just destroy you all. Like, and I just this picture of like, we need like a sketch of,
like, I'm picturing like a wizard, like a level 1 wizard is gonna be hiding behind everybody and like kind of casting out little firebolts.
Mm-hmm.
A level 20 wizard is gonna stand at the entrance to the hall and like snap his fingers, and they're all gonna die.
Collapse.
Oh, here we go. The one I thought about recently was regarding the symbol of the 12, what it represents, and what the colors mean.
It's a good question.
Do you know them all off the top of your head, or like the couple?
What the colors mean?
Nothing.
And I just liked
Certain colors for certain characters.
so I guess the inspiration is Sir Renly Baratheon from Game of Thrones, because in Game of Thrones they had the Kingsguard who wore all white, and then when this guy Renly, or maybe you don't know, when this guy Renly was kind of started his own little kingdom where he was like, I'm the king, he had the Rainbow Guard. And I just love this idea that like when the Red Knight died, someone would just kind of take his place, like Dread Pirate Roberts style. And so I don't know, the color thing always stuck with me. In my head, they were 12 different races at first, and then as I kind of understood Etrun better, I realized that they'd probably be more human, and that the good organization, that the Assembly, would probably be a more mixed, mixed race kind of organization. Just as like, I don't know, like the true unification of Etrun was kind of my thought.
Like representation of the actual people.
The symbol itself.
I just noticed I'm gonna be really mad because your icon is really small, so I can't tell for sure. But it looks like it's doing. Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which either means okay or butthole if you're in Brazil. Sorry to ruin your picture, or maybe I made it better.
Did I just like ruin this?
To be honest with you, again, I'm like a total thief. I love One Piece so much. So much. It's unreal how much I love One Piece. And the symbol it's very similar to the Marines, maybe, in that. I don't know. I saw something with circles and lines and things coming out from it, and I was like, oh, that's cool, and I hope I made something original, but I could have literally taken it. I have no idea.
I have in my Lorne, which you guys haven't even gotten to yet, but it's common knowledge for like people that live there. there's something called the Order of the Seal, and they are very like, it's like more of like a shadowy type thing. But I got like a symbol for them, which is like, it's kind of like a plus sign, and then like coming out of like the corners, it's like little diagonals. I can't even like explain it, but just so you guys know when it pops up, it's supposed to represent the way this cage looks. Which, if you follow us on Patreon, you've read the article, or you might have, or if you haven't, you could. There's an article called "The Pact," and it's about kind of like the origin of modern history in Maelorn. And there's this guy thing sealed away, and it's supposed to like represent his cage and like the responsibility this group has. Just volunteering information because I don't know why. I felt left out.
Maybe it's not from One Piece.
What is the symbol of the 12? I can't remember offhand. It's not the wait, no, it's the breast cancer thing.
No, it's the good guys.
No, that's a good guess.
It's a solid circle
Right.
with
Yes.
cardinal directions and then 4 outlines of circles.
Yes. Also, general talent call. If you're good at designing maps or using Campaign Cartographer 3, can you just like get in touch with me? Because I could use some help. I'm working on, because he already got one, the map for Maelorn and trying to make it look good. And it's going a little rough.
Looks fine to me.
But yeah, cool. I think that's everything I can think of, and we're at like 37 minutes. So, highlights. We got a cool thing. Oh no, it fell. Fix it.
Ah! I was trying to figure out what you meant.
So we got a cool thing. Our store is live, so if you want to rep some This Is Gonna Hurt merch. We also have one medium and one large of our original run of shirts from last year's 2016 Comic-Con. So if you want one of those,
It's a great.
just email us. We still got 2 left. Other than that, new Patreon level in February, so watch out for that. And
Also,
also,
tattoos for the symbol is
I was like, are you like getting tattoos? Like
inspired by Fairy Tail, which is a manga. And also, not the reason I picked the number 12. I just wanted 12 because it's so even in so many ways. I mean, you could make 2 groups of 6, you could have 3 groups of 4, 4 groups of 3. It's a really great number for
things.
guards. But, yeah, they're all tattoos to be like, I'm the man. You know, like,
Nice.
so.
Cool.
That was it. They probably have some magical properties.
Are there any of them that aren't human?
Mm.
But all the ones we've met so far have been human.
I'm lying, I do know. All the ones you've met so far have been human.
Oh, yeah. Trying to think. The only one I wouldn't be sure about is you, Akira.
Which
Which,
somewhere, I don't think I told you where his was.
his tattoo?
Yeah.
No, I don't think it ever came up. But his article in the Patreon Background Brigade
Like Iron Man.
was kind of tripped me out. So I'm not sure about him. But I think that's everything.
Oh, wait, no. Yeah, no, this is his chest.
Cool.
One of them has it on his tongue. It's not you, though.
Is it me?
And it's definitely not you. For the, just saying, do you guys like what I did with me? The mannequin? Come on,
I was frustrated in the moment
come on.
because it's such like
I
an
love
obvious thing,
making
but
those
it was
holiday.
great. Yeah. That was fun. Alright, cool. We're gonna peace out.
I'm gonna go finish my apple.
If there's any apple left. Or
So
if it's all just brown
It's
mush.
gonna be all brown.
Yeah. I'm sad.
It's alright.
Keep eating my cookie dough.
Bye.